What's up, traders? Today I want to go over price action. I personally use this to make my trades. I find it very effective for me. It's what I like to do. And I'm going to use Tesla as an example. We have it up here on screen. A lot of people were watching it. A lot of tech stocks just crashed. People were waiting for it. And I did. So to be clear, I made a couple trades based off price action. They stopped out real quick, and then I got back, actually 2 trades. Got back in on the 3rd time, and we're up. And I'll show you guys how and why I got in. So let's see. So here you can see it. We are on the. Let's go to the 4 hour. So everybody was watching it right at this level. Here we go. So everyone's watching Tesla fall. And if you notice right here at the, so we'll do zones. So when you're putting your horizontal lines, you put them, you'll notice, you'll see the price bounce off it a lot. So if we go into the hour, so you see every time it hits this top line I just put on there, you'll notice it gets momentum. Here's a great example. Because anytime it hits this line from the bottom of the top, it validates it for you every time. So push through here. I'll zoom in a little closer for you. So we get the momentum. We push through this line. Sorry, let me just zoom all the way in for you guys. So we come up here and we bounce. We stop. It pulls back. So that's kind of the start of it. You don't want just one point. You want to validate it, throw it over a time span. But it hits it, it pulls back. But you get enough momentum, it goes all the way through, and then it pulls back to test it, and then it bounces up. So I've heard a few ways to explain this. I've heard the rooftop. You jump through the roof, you land back down on it. I like the best way I found is levels in a building. So as soon as you go up from the first level to the second level, that first floor level, that ceiling, is now the second level floor. So you'll see a lot of times things will push up, they'll come back down, they'll respect this line. So these lines are just 100% psychological. People watch them. Again, what moves the market is money. Obviously, the more you buy, the less shares there are available. It's a supply and demand thing, but people watch these lines and play off of them. So this top green line I've hit, it's pulled back and tested a couple times. So comes up, pulls back, tests it, it validates it, comes in. So if you're doing this play, this is another one. It breaks through, comes back, tests it. You'd want to get in right here. If you're doing this, you'd get in right here and ride it up to your next zone. You see it validates this a couple times. Tiny little pullback, I wouldn't count it here, but just for the example, breaks through it, tests it, shoots up, comes down, tests it again, keeps going. Here we go, we test it again over here. Each time we're bouncing off it. So each time it hits this and validates it, add on to your position, or you can, or it's a good entry spot because it's back at that sale price you were looking for, that good deal. Which, had you done that on any one of these, it would have been a good deal. It'd have bounced right here at this 290-ish. I like to do zones because these aren't exact. So I like to give it some wiggle room. This is really a 290 to 300. I already know that because I've already looked into this. So it just stays above it. Again, here we go. Test it again. Just not going below it. Pulls up each time. So you want to look for points like that and how many times does it validate it. The more it does it, the stronger that signal is for you. So let me show you where I got in. I got in, but using these, I stopped out. So my personal trade, I got in at 295. I stopped out at 290 right here. So that was my first one. And as you can see, it went down even further. There was a little bit of a hold right here. The second line I already had it drawn. Right here at 280, you can see we hit this 280 price mark. Sorry about the charts. So the second line. So you see, when you zoom out, you can really get a feel for it. This second line I had here at this 280, it had hit here, come back, hit here again, didn't hold. It's hit it a couple times. Each time it hits it and bounces, it validates it from both sides. So you want that line validated as many times as you can. So it finally gets enough momentum, it breaks through. And then we're up to the next one, up to the next level. So I did get in here at the 280 and stopped out again just a few dollars short of that. So, but again, I got in at 254, and I was able to find that from this way of trading. And as you can see, we are actually already close for profit, but where was that at? I'll get to that in just 1 second. So it bounced here. I know it did at the 250 mark. Alright, so put that line here. So focusing on this bottom line. Again, this is why I like to do zones. See how it kind of went over and pulled back. And same thing, shot below it, pulled back, tested it, came back, retested it, shot again. It just plays with this line. So that's where I got back in. I already took it was an intraday trade. I already took it and took profit. So that's a very effective way of trading, finding these support and resistance lines, finding out where the price respects it, where it bounces off it every time, because those are great entries, and they're great exits, because you know when you get in here, if it breaks this zone, if it breaks it, it's just going to keep going. That's why my stop losses were so short. I already knew if it broke that, it was going to go to the next level. So you don't want just one. You don't want it exact, because they're not exact. You want to get in a nice little zone. God, I keep grabbing these. So we'll do this whole zone from 290 to 300. And watch how many times it goes in and out of here. Every time it gets in this zone right here. So this is why I find zones very effective. This is where, when I talk about type 1, 2, and 3 trades, I'm talking about these zones. I have found a good spot, good turnaround spots, just support and resistance, and I get in depending on the trade and how it's acting. Depends if I want to do a type 1, 2, or 3. I got a whole other video on entry types going over just that. So before I end this, I want to again say your old resistance becomes your new support, and vice versa. So when I say it respects this line from both sides, that's how it is. It's going to hit this line and bounce until it crushes through it. Then it's going to bounce the opposite direction once it hits it again. You see it coming up here, it bounces off. That's your resistance. That's your top level. And pulls back. Once you get that momentum to pull all the way through, it shoots back. These are awesome. These pullbacks are awesome because that's what tested. It shows you right here. We get that momentum. We break through that level. Not knowing it yet, because all you're seeing is this candle. This is your new resistance, unless it validates it in the previous area. But anyway, you break through this. You pull back. You test it again because it's your new floor. So again, vice versa. When you shoot through it, you'll come back. That'll be your new ceiling. So they play off each other. That's why it's important to have these lines, and that's why I say it respects it from both sides. So I hope that helps you guys understand the basics of how to find these levels and how I particularly play them. Again, I have won many trades on this, both the Forex market and stock market, doing this exact strategy. So thanks again for tuning in to watch another video. Again, make sure if you like it, go ahead and hit a thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the little bell button so you are the first ones to see it of the next one. And again, let's lock in profits, not losses.